Hi, Bethany here. I know some of us haven't formally met, so this is my formal introduction to you. I am your run coach for the next 6 weeks. Welcome to day one. I know some of you have already gotten out for your run, which is awesome. I know some of us are a little bit hesitant because of the weather that we woke up to this morning. So I wasn't really sure what I would talk to you about each day. But since we are now dealing with some interesting weather conditions, it's a good time to maybe mention a few things. And again, I'm going to mention some things that are helpful, but I'm not saying this so that you feel like you have to go out and buy a whole bunch of new stuff to be able to run, because you really don't. It's the most simple sport. I'm just giving you some ideas that might help. But again, you don't need them. So first of all, and this is probably one of the most important when it comes to running in cold and wet conditions, is your inside layer. Just avoid cotton. So you want it to be moisture wicking. You don't want your sweat, that moisture, to stay close to your body. So when you're getting cold, you're just going to get colder if your inside layer is damp. It's most important with your top. So your long sleeve is going to be something like this, a dry fit. Just avoid cotton. With your tights, probably not best to be wearing your big Roots sweatpants. If you have running tights, that would be helpful. I do actually find that compression tights can feel like they hold the cold in a little bit more when they get damp. It doesn't matter if it's just cold, but when it's wet and cold, compression can sometimes make you feel a little bit colder. So just your regular running tights. And then a few other things. We all have a hat around, so when it's snowing or it's raining, I always wear a hat, and it just keeps the rain and the snow out of my eyeballs, so you're just not blinking the whole time trying to see where you're going. So it just keeps that off your face, which is a little bit more comfortable. And then a running jacket. So there's tons of different levels to the running jacket. Some can be just a windbreaker that you would wear when it's not too cold out. Some can have a little bit of a lining. I actually find you don't need hardly anything at all as far as thickness to them. You just want a bit of the wind to be broken up, but super waterproof. Like your rain jacket, you're probably just going to sweat like crazy on the inside, so it needs to be a little bit breathable. But any old running jacket, thinner is fine. Thin will get you through most weather conditions that we have here. And then the last thing, which I love, and I use these quite often actually, is my buffs. So these are great because you don't really overheat in them. If it's really cold and the wind is really blowing, then I can put them just over my nose, over my face. And then sometimes I'll put two, and I'll put one over my head. And then it keeps everything out. So it's not a fashion show here. So, and I'll wear them like this if this one gets hot. So I'm usually wearing one around my ears just to keep my ears protected. And then if I get super hot, then I just take them off and I wrap them around my wrist. So I'm usually wearing a buff in most weather that's under about 10 degrees. So these things, you can order them online. Actually, this is what they give away a lot now at races, instead of t-shirts, and or you can pick them up at MEC. I know stores aren't open right now, but if you were looking to invest in a few things, I do use buffs a fair bit. And then that's basically it. But honestly, if you just want to go out in your hoodie and your sweats, you'll get the job done. Sometimes you feel a little bit more like Rocky and you can put your hood up. But let's get out, let's get the job done. One of the rules too that I always kind of think about when the weather's really bad is, I know that within 6 minutes, this is my number, and I'm not sure why, it's just always been within 6 minutes, I know my body will warm up and I'm gonna feel fine. So even watch on your watch, 6 minutes, your body warms up, and then you'll be fine. They always say just a little rule is whatever it is, the temperature is, when you're running, it would be as if it was 10 degrees warmer. So if it's 0 degrees today, you kind of dress as if it was 10 degrees and you weren't running. Does that make sense? So if it was 10 degrees out, I might wear capris and a t-shirt. So that might be what I would wear in weather like this. Yeah. something to think about. 10 degrees warmer if you were not running. So hopefully that's helpful. Ask any other questions you want. Obviously then mitts, shoes, you can even get fancy moisture wicking socks, but again, it's not necessary. It's just some things to think about when it comes to what you're wearing in weather like this. Have a good one.